people can be equipped to hear the voice of God like they need to in this hour.
Thank you, Stacey. And Wesley, who's behind the scenes.
Yes, he is.
And my dear friend, Patricia, that we walked together with. David Damien, who I met in Strasbourg, France, many years ago, and recently getting joined with. And my dear little sister, Julie Meyer. Okay, so anyway, it's so good because this is not just about prophets. This is about friends. This is about relationships. What is a wineskin? I think a wineskin is organic relationships that are brought together to be able to carry the new. So, yes, I'm the founder of God Encounters Ministries. So you can just go to jamesgoll.com or godencounters.com. I do send out content, blog, free audio, video messages every week. It doesn't cost. I send it free. It goes out to at least 160 nations every week. I do a broadcast on Facebook Live every Thursday with my youngest daughter, Rachel, called Insight. Okay, so there's that. Now, one of the most consistent words that many of the prophets that we walk with have said this. They did not say when it was 5780 or the civil year 2020 that it's a new year. Here is what I have said over and over. We are not moving into a new day. We are not just crossing over into a new year. We are not just crossing over into a new decade. We are crossing over into a new era. I have said this, Cindy Jacobs has said it, Chuck Pierce has, Stacey has, many have been saying it's a new era. Well then, what does that really mean? It's a new era. There are defining moments that happen in history. A defining moment would have been like World War II. We went in one way, we came out another. So there were whole nations that were formed after World War II that did not previously exist, like Yugoslavia. It was brought together. How about Iraq? Or how about out of the fiery furnace of the Holocaust of World War II, prophetic word got birthed. Can a nation be born in a day? Isaiah 66, the nation of Israel, birthed in May 14, May 15 in 1948. We have parallel restorations. Well, that's another subject, so let me hem myself in. Defining moments. So World War II, like World War I, was a defining moment. It is a shift in history. 9/11 was a defining moment. Where in history, we came in one way, but we go out another. So one little example would be TSA. I'm sure TSA existed, but not like it did after 9/11. I remember when we used to be able to go to the gate to meet your family or meet your friend. You don't do that anymore. Became a new era. Right now, we have crossed a threshold into a defining moment, into a global new era. It is a global new era in the world. It is a global new era in the body of Christ. And there's much that I could unfold there, but let me try to give you some highlights. Many of you have heard me rehearse. Then on the day of Passover, on April 8th, I was in my backyard just worshiping God. And I looked up into the sky that was all cloudy, and the skies parted. I really try not to exaggerate. And the skies parted, and there was the full moon peering through. I looked through that open heaven, and the voice of the Lord came to me. And I will only share a tiny part because I want to get on to a dream that the Lord gave me today about Pentecost. And as I looked through that open heaven, the voice of the Lord came to me and he said, I have been waiting for such a long time for my people to slow down long enough that they could hear what I have to speak. For I have much that I want to say in these days about the new ways for the new era, about the new wineskin for the new wine, about sowing and reaping, and those who have sowed in tears. Now that absolutely got me, because I have been someone who is deeply sowed in tears. And he said, and those who have sowed in tears will go forth reaping with great joy. My attention was totally captured. And then he says this, will you be like Moses? Now, it was a word to me, but it's a word for us, a corporate Moses. Will you be like Moses and turn aside? I am waiting there. And in my 45 years of full-time vocational ministry and moving in the gift of prophecy for 45 years, I have never, ever, ever heard the Lord use the word to me, I am. Never have. This is what God told Moses. He said, will you be like Moses and turn aside? I am waiting there. Moses went and he argued with God and he said, hey, all the other gods have got names. And the people go forth and they can say, well, so-and-so sent me. And so Moses says, who are you? Who can I say? Sending. That's an apostolic commission. Who can I say is sending me? And God says, tell them I am. Tell them I am. Tell them I am that I am is sending you. That is an apostolic commission given to a prophet. Tell them I am. Is there anything greater than knowing God as I am? And he said to me, I am waiting there. Now, a week ago Sunday, I had a riveting dream. Riveting. Now, some of you knew of like Bob Jones and Paul Cain, who are in the great cloud of witnesses, and many others. Jill Austin, many of our friends, my late wife. So I grew up around a culture of the seer, the encounters. It's my DNA, and it's a part of my inheritance. So on a Sunday morning recently, I can tell you I walked in heaven. I have never used those words ever before in my lifetime. I have tried to be careful to not add hamburger helper to my words. But I can tell you recently, it was a dream, but I walked in heaven. And I was guided by the faceless man. He was my God. And he was taking me down a hallway of heroes of the faith, of the past, and even some of recent. And I'm going down the hallway of the champions of the faith. I know, there's William and Catherine Booth, founders of the Salvation Army. There's William Seymour, the man who's known for the one-eyed black preacher who brought forth the Azusa Street revival. I saw Catherine Coleman in the hallway of champions. I saw a man who is in the Lord, in heaven, who was a persecutor of the Kansas City Prophets in 1990 and released a global persecution and released a manuscript about the inerrant prophecies and activities of the Kansas City Prophets. Well, I was a part of that group. But yet he got right with God before he passed and he went to be with the Lord. Guess what? I saw this man. I hadn't gotten to see this man. I wanted to, but I wasn't able to go back to Kansas City to be able to meet him. I saw this man in heaven, and he looks at me, and he's cheering, and he's grateful, and he says to me in heaven, I know I'm stretching some of you, but he said to me, I am so glad that there are people still in the earth that will keep their hand to the plow and keep moving forward no matter what.